But as Secretary Noem said, no one who wants to be peaceful shows up at a protest with a firearm that is loaded with 2 full magazines. That is not a peaceful protest, and you do not get to touch law enforcement. You do that anywhere, this FBI is going to be leading the charge to arrest those.
Whoa!
We have that officer that's right in the middle there with his hand on Pretti's gun. Okay, so he is trying to take control of the gun after they see it. Now we have the officer to the left. He is going to apparently see that gun, and he is going to reach for his gun.
Like and subscribe to the channel, hit the bell to get notifications. Anytime I go live and make a video, y'all already know what to do. Let's get into this. We got to talk about this shooting. I literally been waiting all weekend to get to today to explain it. I've watched the videos, I've considered every angle, and now it is time for Brandon Tatum to give his perspective. I'm going to methodically break down the videos. I'm going to methodically go through why I believe this is justified or not justified. I'm going to bring in experts, well, at least one expert who's a defense attorney, and his statements about the incident. I'm going to address whether or not the gun misfired. I mean, all of the above. I'm going to address it. I'm going to play clips from naysayers. I'm going to play clips from people who got common sense, in my opinion, and we're going to go through and get to the bottom of this. But I'm not the one to clickbait you into trying to say, wait to the end for you to hear the results. The people that are joining this live, right off the bat, I'm going to tell you 2 things. One is that I'm going to explain why this would be justified, and then I'm going to explain a scenario where it's not justified. And in both of those scenarios, the idiot who brought a gun claiming to be protesting, premeditating a felonious crime, there's no scenario where what he did make any sense. No scenario where he's justified in nothing that he did. There is no scenario. And we're going to get to that here in a second. Let's start with a couple of the angles, okay? I want you guys, if you're interested, Cam Higbee is one of the reporters revealing this stuff. Obviously, he's out there. Black Line Security protects Cam Higbee when he's doing this stuff. We've deployed guys with him before. He's a part of our Black Line Guardian Fund. And so please, 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 if you love his reporting, go and click on Cam Higbee. All you got to do is go to Black Line Guardian Fund. We have the link there. Click on Cam Higbee. Go to his donation link and support him. You can also go through and support David. Savannah Craven, she just did a couple deals in, I think, D.C., and we support her too. So go on and support these journalists that are doing the right thing. 100% of what you guys donate go directly to their security. Let's start with a couple of the angles, okay? We're going to start with the first angle, and these are all videos that you guys have seen. I want to make sure I play through all of them so you can see from the beginning which angles are available to the public, and then I'm going to go and explain exactly what I believe happened when we watch them. Roll the clip. So that was one of the most popular angles that you see. Let's go to the next angle. We got 3 angles. This one, and this is another angle. Roll it. Time out. I want y'all to pay attention to something. I'm glad that this is happening to these fools. I'm just going to be honest. Can I be honest? That's what you get. I'm glad these people are losing their lives doing this stupid stuff. Can you imagine? ICE is just doing their job, arresting people whom they have an arrest warrant signed by a judge to arrest. And you got ignorant people out here blowing whistles and screaming and doing all of this to distract them for executing a lawful arrest. Like, I can't stand these people, and I wish that more of them will lose their life in this situation. To be quite honest, I'm just being honest. I hate these people. They're evil. They're devils. They have no mother freaking business out here doing what they're doing. All of it is bull crap. Straight lies across the board. It's all bull crap. You're not out here You're not out here doing nothing virtuous. You're out here impeding in investigations involving murderers and child rapists and all of that, and you out here blowing whistles and interfering with what they're doing because you're stupid. And keep playing, y'all gonna keep dying. And I feel zero sympathy for people out here doing this. Let's finish the clip. Now, let me get started. Y'all know it's finna be spicy. Roll it.
Go.
Time out. So I want y'all to see the guy sitting in the middle of the street is the idiot who died. What? Like, when they get on TV and they tell you this was a nurse, and he's in the, first of all, he's armed. He know he's armed. And he's in the middle of the street breaking the law and antagonizing ICE. He's not just filming on the side of the road being a protester. He's in the middle of the street. That's a crime. Keep going.
What the fuck is wrong with you?
Next angle. Play it.
And they keep pushing people, you know?
All right, so these are the angles that you've seen presented. Now let's get to the breakdown. Let's start with the first clip. This is a slow motion clip, and everybody at this point have seen what it appears to be one of the agents taking the gun. Roll the clip.
Alex Pretti shooting, shall we? This is some footage from it, and we have that officer that's right in the middle there with his hand on Pretti's gun. Okay, so he is trying to take control of the gun after they see it. Now we have the officer to the left. He is going to apparently see that gun. And
time out. I think this is very important. Let's get to clip 110 first. Because as we break this down, I want you guys to understand the context from the very beginning. Before we start this clip, let me frame it for you and put this all into context. The dummy that you see standing in the middle of the street is the dummy that's going to get himself killed by doing all kinds of unlawful behavior. Before we get to the breakdown, because Andrew does a really good job at breaking this down, I'm going to allow him to break down everything that happened before the shooting, and then I'll break down the shooting with the context of the videos that I just was going to show you guys. But I think it's invaluable to start with this because it'll help you put all of this in perspective. The media, your uncle and your auntie who's completely stupid is out here talking about he's a nurse and he wasn't doing nothing, exercising his constitutional right. I want y'all to understand this very clearly. This guy was found with a firearm, multiple magazines full of rounds. He made the decision to go out and do what he's about to do, knowing that he had a firearm on his person. Now, roll this clip because this is the beginning, which frames it, and then I'm going to explain the shooting and why I think that there's two scenarios that could be afoot. Justified, not justified. More than likely, I think this is going to be justified, and I'll explain it here in a minute. Roll the clip.
All right, Alex Pretti there in the street. He's pretty obnoxious to this car, points his camera at their face. He's walking out here, and we see him. Now, you see four people in this frame. A woman in a white jacket, she's going to get pushed to the ground by an ICE officer. Alex Pretti, another woman, and then the ICE officer in question walking up behind them. And the ICE officer is attempting.
And he's doing all this while armed. And he knows he's armed. Roll it.
To stop their impeding their operation, forcing them back from the scene. It looks like she's already forced this dark-clad woman back. Alex Pretti seems to be protecting her. He's got an arm around her shoulder. He'll put his arm around her waist. He's placing himself between that woman and the ICE officer pursuing that woman. Again, that is impeding. This white jacket woman is also impeding. She's now engaging the ICE officer. The ICE officer tells her to get back. She won't. So the ICE officer shoves her back. She falls down, and Alex Pretti now physically engages the ICE officer. So the ICE officer sprays him in the face with OC, another shot of OC. This is all a lawful use of defensive force by Alex Pretti went hands-on with the ICE officer. You're not allowed to do that.
With a gun.
That's a criminal assault. That's a felony assault on a law enforcement officer, too.
With a gun.
In addition to the impeding. Now, more ICE officers have come in to aid their colleague. It becomes a generalized fracas. Alex Pretti is not complying with arrest. He's not complying with orders. He's resisting all of these.
With a gun.
Now, you may say, well, they're pushing him around and he fell to the ground and he's on his hands and feet. But from the officer's perspective, he's not simply complying with lawful detention. And this is where the fracas becomes more general. This point right here, where Alex Pretti goes hands-on the ICE officer, after the ICE officer pushes the woman in the white coat, right there. That is Alex Pretti committing a forcible felony good for 8 years in a federal prison. 8 years in a federal prison. Here's the relevant statute.
All right.
U.S. Code 111.
Good. I'm gonna have Andrew on the show tomorrow to talk about this in more detail. But he set it up pretty fairly, and I think people should be reasonable about what is happening here. This guy is armed, and he's in the middle of the street confronting ICE agents or Border Patrol agents, assaulting Border Patrol agents, assaulting them. I do not understand what people don't get about if you are carrying a concealed carry weapon, there are rules of engagement. And the rules of engagement are very simple. You should be notifying law enforcement if you are engaged with them to any degree that you have a firearm on your person. Therefore, there's no confusion. You put your hands up, I have a gun, I have a firearm. They can adequately take the firearm off of your person, and you will be able to live to see another day. But when you fight people, knowing that you have a firearm on you, and you, not people, but you fight law enforcement, and you don't say anything, that is how stuff goes south. Let's go back to the slow-mo breakdown, clip 104. And we're going to get to the violence after this dummy has just committed crimes, felonious assault, while in possession with a firearm. Roll the clip.
Apparently see that gun, and he is going to reach for his gun. Now we're going to take a look at that center officer again, who's now off to the right a bit. This is where the firearm is just about to clear the holster, and that officer is taking it out of the holster himself, and then he leaves the immediate area. Now the second officer there, this is right before he takes the first shots. So we're going to let this play through a little bit, and this is where Pretti is actively being shot. Now we're going to take a look. This is from another angle, and that is that officer who we see taking Pretti's gun from his waistband, and the photo on the right is a photo of the gun that officials had released that said...
Okay, now let's break this down real quick. There's two scenarios here. Three scenarios. First scenario is guilty, not guilty, or did that firearm discharge inadvertently. Here's the scenario where the gentleman is not guilty. People are looking at this from a particular angle. If the BP or Border Patrol agent did not see the firearm removed, then he is not culpable or should be held accountable for the guy being unarmed. Because he has this holster with the gun in it. They're yelling, gun, gun, gun. Go back to the other clip. I wish I can manipulate the clip by myself. You could turn the audio off. I don't know if it's easy to do that, but just play it. Because I want to show a few things. All right, play the clip. So as you're looking at it, he has a gun on him. They're pulling at the gun, right? I don't know if the BP officer saw him take the gun out or not, because he didn't shoot him right here. He didn't shoot him right here. This is where he shoots him at. Right? Pause. Go back and pause. All right, play it. Pause. Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't get it fast enough. Go back a little bit. All right, right here. Pause it right here. As you can see, when Dummy is getting up, the agent didn't shoot him over there. The agent didn't shoot him there. The agent is now on the other opposite side of him. It looks like he's reaching for his waistband. And I believe this is why he got shot. Because he's getting up off of the ground. Somebody says, gun, gun, gun. Everybody moves back. The agent that ended up shooting is on his backside, and the only thing he can see is his right hand going for his waistband. And when his hand went for his waistband, as we play the clip, this is when he gets shot. Right here. Boom, boom, boom. He's reaching for his gun. That's not there anymore because this guy took it. Let's go to the other clip. And we can play it with the audio. Roll it.
So this video is like slowed down on the situation with the guy that was most recently shot. It looks like this one Border Patrol agent or ICE agent pulls the guy's firearm out of his back.
Go back.
Like the guy.
Now, this is the part that people need to pay attention to. Now, if you pay attention, it does not look like the Border Patrol agent that shot the dummy is reacting to the other BP agent pulling the gun out. So I don't think people saw him actually remove the gun. It doesn't appear that anybody reacted to where the gun is at, right? You don't see the guy's eyes track when the gentleman took the gun, and the way he grabbed it, it looked like he grabbed it and kind of slid it through. I don't think they saw that he took the gun off his hip. Roll the clip.
Shot. It looks like this one Border Patrol agent or ICE agent pulls the guy's firearm out of his back.
Let's pause it. You see the guy standing over and that shot him? It doesn't look like he sees that at all. And the guy who took the gun, it's not like it don't look like he announced it to anybody. He took it, he tried to get it off to the side, making it sterile where nobody gets shot. But the guy that's standing over top of him, I don't think he saw him pull the gun out of his waistband. I appreciate all the people who have gotten verdict already, because a ton of y'all have gotten verdict. I mean, so many people, my head is spinning. And you will not be disappointed. The best bourbon I've ever tasted. If it wasn't the best bourbon I ever tasted, I would not waste my time, effort, energy, and investment into starting a bourbon. Best bourbon on the market. Are you a guilty or not guilty type person? I'm more of I do both. Sometimes I'm feeling guilty. Sometimes I'm feeling not guilty. But make sure if you're interested, it's available for pre-order right now. You can also read the story of how we developed Verdict. It's listed right here. It's also on the back of our bottles. So make sure if you're interested, go on. You must be 21 and over, obviously, but you make sure you drink responsibly. We don't do the irresponsible drinking. We don't do the drinking to get drunk and intoxicated. Pre-order today. When you get the checkout, if you get both, we got free shipping for you. If you get the case, we got free shipping for you. And also, if you have any issues, just message us on customer service. Let us know. This is something that I think people are not realizing. His eyes may not have been where your eyes are at because you're watching the clip in slow motion 45 times. The guy that's standing over the top of them could be looking at all kinds of other things that are going on and didn't see him pull the gun out. And that will be a case where it will be 100% justified. Just because the guy was unarmed don't mean that the agent couldn't have shot him, because the agent may not have known he was unarmed. There was a reasonable threat by the suspect. If they're yelling, gun, 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 everybody backs off him, he reaches for his waistband, it's reasonable to use deadly force against him in that situation. The only way that this will be a guilty verdict against the police officer or the Border Patrol agent is if he knew or saw the gun being removed, knowing that the guy's unarmed when he shot him. And I don't think that's the case when you look at it just like this. He ain't even react to the guy taking the gun and walking away. Roll the clip.
Like the guy, it looked like he disarmed the individual who was shot. Like he pulled the guy's pistol because it looked like the guy had his pistol inside of a back holster or an inside the pants rear holster or something like that. And it looks like the guy pulls it out.
And pause it right there. Now, look at his hand. Do you see a gun in his hand? He's wearing black gloves. They're scuffling. He takes the gun out. It is a very high possibility or likelihood that nobody saw him actually with the gun in his hand. The BP agent goes to pull the gun out and nobody sees it. His glove and his hand is the same color as that gun. And so in a scuffle and all of this, it appears that people may not have seen him take that gun out. You can look at it now and you don't see that he had a gun in his hand, do you? You can't tell at this point. Finish the clip.
Because you can kind of see it. Yeah, see, he's got it in his right hand there as he's pulling away. Which, if that's the same firearm that DHS said the guy had on him, then they disarmed him prior to shooting him. Now, that being said, I don't know if there was a second pistol or if that was the only pistol the guy had, but it looks like that may have spooked everybody.
See,
I don't know if he had anything.
Pause it. You can barely see what's in that man's hand, even as we're watching this. Now, you know what it is because you watched the clip, but it's not very clear that he has the gun in his hand. Everybody else is fighting and maneuvering. They may not have seen him take that gun out. You can look at it now. It's not very clear. Like, you can't see what's in his hand. And I'm telling you guys, what it's gonna come down to is if the BP officer say, I didn't see him pull a gun from his waistband. I didn't see the other agent pull a gun. I was looking at the back of his head this way because they were fighting and they were saying gun. I thought he had it in his hand. He reaches back like this. I see the holster and I shot him. 100% justification. I'm telling you guys, the only way this wouldn't be justified, which I think is highly unlikely, is if the guy that shot him saw him take the gun out and shot him anyway, which I don't believe happened. Finish the clip.
Situation, but it's tough to say. It looks like they disarmed him from having that pistol in his back,
next clip.
Like in his back waistband.
All right, next clip.
Put some input into the slide.
Pause. Now there is a rumor or speculation that the gun may have gone off inadvertently when the gentleman pulled the gun from him. I don't think that happened, but here is an example of why people are believing that it could have happened, which it won't make much of a difference. It can add to the justification, but whether it went off or not really is, in my opinion, not the determining factor of justification in this particular scenario. Because the scenario is, did he see him remove the gun or not? That's the only guilty, not guilty perception here. However, if there was a shot that went off that spooked them enough to return fire because they believed they were getting shot at because they heard a gun go off, then this could have been an explanation. With these SIGs and the way the firing pin work, these guns are dangerous. It's a going joke that these SIGs will just go off with any level of manipulation at the firing pin. And when I say manipulation, you don't even have to be pulling the trigger or anything. Look at what this guy did to make this gun fire. Roll the clip.
Where will it go off again? Will it release? Let's see. That's 3 in a row. Let me take the screw out. Number 4. Let's try it again. Let me show you. Fully functioning striker safety. All right. Should we do it with the magazine again? Let's put the magazine back in and then we'll try the last one with the magazine out. Handy dandy trigger input tool. We are going to try to, dang, sorry about that. I'm trying to get over a sinus thing and a cough. We're going to try to simulate all right, here we go. Again, We are roughly, as we saw on the tabletop, I'm guessing we're roughly a millimeter to less than a millimeter of engagement on that trigger. And let's see if we can get it to go off again.
So some people are articulating that when the agent grabbed the gun, it may have fired, which also made them respond, thinking that they were getting shot at by this individual. All right, let's go to a couple other clips. I think it's very difficult. We could skip the clip of her. It's very difficult, in my opinion, unless I'm walking through stage by stage to just articulate this. I feel like I can debate it amongst anybody, but the conclusion is that I believe that this is going to be considered a justified shooting. That dude had no business doing what he's doing. He had no business going there with the firearm, knowing that he's got a concealed gun and he's engaging and fighting with Border Patrol officers, Border Patrol agents. He's fighting with them, knowingly and intentionally fighting with them, resisting arrest, getting into an altercation. None of that makes any sense if you're carrying concealed. None of that makes any sense if you're a reasonable person. None of that makes any sense if you actually came there to protest in a nonviolent way. Everything he did makes it seem like he was willing to confront and kill Border Patrol agents if it came down to it. That's why he brought a gun, and that's why he had a gun with multiple magazines and a bunch of ammo, because he was ready to go to war or go to bat against Border Patrol agents. That's why when they were telling the girl to get out the way, he goes to protect one of them. And then when they pushed the other girl out of the way, he physically got into an engagement with a Border Patrol agent. None of that makes sense unless you're trying to do violence. Talking about you a nurse and all that stuff don't mean sugar, honey, iced tea. You are the stupidest. You're either evil or stupid or both. Nobody with a connected brainstem or the right mind will go out and intentionally be armed and confront Border Patrol agents physically. There's no justification for what he did. You can't tell me, oh, but he's a legal gun owner. No, not really. When you premeditate, you concealed carrying a gun, premeditating a violent confrontation, premeditating breaking a law, interfering with their investigation, their arrest is breaking the law.